Hey everyone, it's Katie here. Today we're going to be making a soup bowl cozy. These are really fun to make for gifts. A lot of people make them to sell at craft shows. They're just really nice to use when you're getting your soup bowl out of the microwave. It's really hot to put the bowl in and hold it. You can use all kinds of fun materials. I love Snoopy, so I have some scraps here. You can make it reversible. So I'm using Snoopy, and then I have some gnome fabric. So just thought I'd go with a whole winter theme because that's when we usually eat soup. So what I've done here is I've taken 2 pieces of my cotton material and cut a 10 by 10 square. The other thing I've done, you can use quilt batting, which is what most people use, but I'm using polar fleece. I do a lot of t-shirt quilts that I back with polar fleece, so I've got a lot of scraps. And of course, as any good seamstress, I don't throw away my scraps because you never know when you're going to need it. So this is perfect. It's basically very similar to the quilt batting. So if you've got some polar fleece scraps, you can use that as well. So I've also cut the polar fleece or your batting the same size, 10 by 10. And first thing you're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of light quilting, and we're just going to sew an X across this. So if you have trouble, sewing straight or whatnot, you can certainly take, I'm using disappearing ink, and then I've got my little quilt ruler, clear ruler, and you can just draw a line from corner to corner here. And I'm going to just sew right on that line through the cotton and the quilt batting. Over here. And then I'll turn it. Now, if you're comfortable enough, you don't have to draw the line. I'm just showing you how to make it simple on yourself to make a nice X across there, and I'm going to sew right on that mark. And the disappearing ink obviously will be gone in just a few minutes, so be sure to sew it quickly before it disappears. This is also a great beginner project for someone learning to sew. Okay. Now if you want to press it, you can. I'm not breaking out the iron. So, okay. So the next thing you want to do, and you're going to do this to both pieces. I've already done it to my other one just to save time. So if you want to do this, in stages, get your other piece of cotton and polar fleece or batting and do the exact same thing and just sew that X on there. Then we're going to turn right sides together and fold it in the center. And what we're going to do is we are going to mark a little dot. We're going to go 2 inches down. Oops, 2 inches, not 3. And then we're going 1 inch over. And you can connect those dots. Okay. Just a little angle, and I'm going to do it on both ends here. And I'm going to take that over to the sewing machine and just sew on those little diagonal lines. Trim my threads. And I'm going to sew the bottom angle. And now we're going to trim off this corner. Okay. Excuse me. So we've done that. So now we're going to open it up And we're going to fold it to the other side. And we're going to do those same markings. So it is 1 inch over from the fold. So I'm just putting a little mark, 1 inch, and then 2 inches down. And then we're going to connect those dots on the angle. And then I'll do the same thing down here. And then we're going to sew those together. Go ahead and clip the threads. So we have that sewn right there, and we're going to cut off that excess. And you can just leave like a 1/4 inch. So now when you open this up, you'll see how that holds that together. Now what we want to do, now that you have your other piece put together, we're going to put right sides together. So you're going to lay one inside the other and get them lined up. And you want to leave an opening, so you got your little center seams where you turned it. I'm going to leave a little opening right here because you need a spot to turn it. So I've marked that just like that. So this is not going to get sewn. So I will start sewing here and then go all the way around the edge. Now, if you want to pin it, go ahead. I'm not big on pinning, so I can hold it and keep it lined up. And I'm going to go ahead and start sewing. And you want to, it's probably helpful to use the needle down position on your sewing machine if your machine has that. That way you can leave the needle down and then, whoops, I got the reverse one, and then swing it around to the next side. And I'm leaving the needle down, and then I can raise or press your foot just a little bit. Okay, so do a little reverse stitch as you finish that side. Okay, so everything is sewn. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the corners here just to reduce some bulk when we turn it. Now I gotta find where my, oh, there it is. So it is a little opening. So this might be a little challenging to turn it, but it'll go. It is a little bit bulkier with the polar fleece. I'm having to pull it a little bit more. So I probably should have left my opening a little bit wider, so I might go past that seam. That would just make it easier, but I will get it pulled through here. Actually, I'm going to cut a thread and make it easier on myself. I'm just opening my finger just a tiny bit. That opened it about a ½ inch. So I had my opening was just a little too small. That's okay, we got it to work. Okay, so now what I like to do is use your scissors or a point turner tool and push out these corners right here. Push those out. Okay. Now if you want to give it a quick press, probably not a bad idea, but you can still go ahead and sew the edge close. So I'm just tucking this down in here, just folding that over. Gonna fold that edge a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew and just finish this, give it a nice finished look all the way around the edge. So just as you sewed it together, we're just top stitching it, just kind of give it a nice finished look, and to close up our opening all at the same time. Make sure my needle's down. And I'll turn. I'm sewing all the way around. This is also a really great project. It can be a scrap buster project. I'm using my polar fleece scraps. There's you. Okay, and trim up these little threads. Clean it up. Okay, we are finished. You can decide which design you want on the inside, which you want on the outside. But as you see, this will hold. You just set your soup bowl down in there. Got my cute little gnomes on the outside, adorable winter Snoopy skating on the inside, and you can set a nice deep soup bowl in there. Ta-da! So I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have any questions, be sure to leave it in the comments. I would love to see any of your projects. You can always send them to me via Facebook Messenger on my Facebook page, or email me. These are great projects for beginners, great projects to sell at craft shows, and also to make for friends and family for the holidays. So I hope you have fun and you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to get notified for our next video, you can hit the little bell icon to get notified for our next video. And we'll see you in our next tutorial. Bye-bye.